All right, check it out, check it out. I didn't think these were gonna arrive before the video is done, but they came ahead of time. Motor mounts. So I'm gonna go ahead and jack up the car and knock this out real quick, so that way we just have a perfect running car, you guys. All right, here we go. All right, so originally I was gonna stick some window well on these ones, but they look pretty solid just coming straight out from the box. So I'm just gonna put it in as is. And yeah, we should be golden. All right, you guys, so doing the motor mounts, I know there's one here, one there, one back there, and then one under here. But I am doing this for the first time, so it's not exactly like I know what's gonna happen or what's going on. So anything I come across, I'll go ahead and let you guys know. And in here, you're going to want to remove the intake box. This will allow you at least access to 2 of the motor mounts. Alright, so right now looks like I'm gonna have to take off this middle bar right here. These look like 17s, and there might be another one down there. So the first mount is actually resting on this thing, so I'm gonna have to take this bar off. Alright, so here's what we're looking at. You got 2 17s here, you got another 17 right here, and right there's the first motor mount, and as you can see, it is all ripped up. So that could be one bad motor mount right there. So these are 14 millimeters right here. You can see this thing right here. So go ahead and take this out, and then we'll drop this frame right here. I can't get it to record because I don't have a tripod this short, but you guys get the picture. Just hit up those bolts and you guys should be good. All right, new one, old one, and you can see this one's really ripped up. So trash. Okay, you guys, this is the back one. The back one is also bad too. You guys can see it's that thing right there, and no matter how I look at it, look like it's going to be a challenge. So right now, if you guys can see this bracket right here, that's what it's connected to, and that's what's holding the mount and the transmission onto the subframe and whatnot. And it doesn't look like I'll be able to just take off the motor mount and then slide that out, because there's no room on the bottom for it to slide out. And I can't just simply pull it up because it has those 2 little legs also. So if anything, it looked like I might have to take off this bracket right here and just take out the whole thing as a whole. And then when I go back to assemble it, just assemble it as a whole piece and then drop it back in. But for the most part, it looked like you have to do everything from up here because there's no room for in the bottom to take it off. So the only thing you could probably do on the bottom is just loosen the bolts that are holding the mount in to the subframe below, and that's about it. Here's a better shot right here. All right, this thing is definitely a pain in the butt. But I got it off, or I got it all loosened. And now we're just gonna pull that out this way and then put the new one in like that. Now, as you guys can see, the rear one is also bad. It's all torn up. So these 2 in the front were actually pretty easy to get to. These 2, you kind of have to go behind where the rear sway bar is. kind of right where the second catalytic converter starts, and you'll have just a little bit of gap just to fit a 14 millimeter wrench in there. And then just try to break it loose and work it, because you really don't have any room to get your fingers in there. So just try to get it until you can get it loose, and then from there you could kind of sort of just use your fingertips and just keep working it back and forth until it comes off. So now we got that out, we're gonna put the new one in. I hope it's way easier to put it back in than it is to take it out. All right, you guys, finally finished. So it's about 10 o'clock at night now. It got really late. That one in the back, oh my god. Oh my god. I don't even know where to start. It was such a pain in the butt. This one, I couldn't switch it out because the mount they sent me is actually a little different one. It's kind of off to the side a little bit. I'll show you guys a picture. And then I was able to get this one in, the front one in. Where's it at? Oh, right down there. You see that bolt right there? That's the new one. All right, so that back one, really, if you guys have like a whole day to burn, then I would suggest that you attack that, because that one, it really took me a long while. On top of that, not only didn't get it lined up, but I only got 3 bolts back in, and then one kind of self-threaded itself in, so it's on there, but it's not on there correctly. What else? Yeah, other than that, just need to bleed the brakes left, and then I should be good. This car should be up and running sweetly. All right, you guys, so it's a brand new day. We're going to be bleeding the brakes and then getting some fresh fluids in. And after that, we're going to take it on a test drive and finish clearing up the catalytic converter monitor. So get this thing ready for smog. All right, so for bleeding your brakes, what you want to do is, that's your brake booster over there, right? That's where you fill up your brake fluids. And you always want to start bleeding with the furthest one. So in this case, this rear one will be the furthest one towards that, and then next would be the driver's side over there, and then over here, and then last will be that tire. So that's how you want to do it. All right, so this car takes dot 3 or dot 4. I think the only difference with dot 4 is they handle in higher temperature. So that is what I got. So here we go. Alright, first things first, you're going to have to take the wheel to even get access to it. And of course, you want to have your car up on jack stands. Here, I didn't, just because in my mind, I was like, alright, this is going to go by quick, so I'm not going to take the jack stands out. But you should, so do as I say, not as I do, alright? And this is called the 2-person bleeding method. So I have someone else in the driver's seat pumping the brakes. Okay, just so you guys see what I am doing too. So this is the rear, and as you can see, this thing is it. You just gotta take off this rubber cap right here, and there it is exposed. So that is my makeshift bleeder catch can. Always have a little brake fluid in a reserve, so that way it doesn't suck up any air going back up into your system when you're pumping the brakes. But yeah, so that way you guys see what I'm doing, and it's just gonna be the same thing all around. And I don't remember the exact diameter of the tube. I do know that it is bigger than the regular fish tank size air pump hose. So I don't remember where I got it from, either Walmart or probably Lowe's. I would definitely bet my money on either Home Depot or Lowe's. So once you get that, make sure that it's long enough to reach the bottom of the bottle. That way that if it decides to suck up air, it's just sucking up brake fluid instead. And make sure you get the clear one so that way you can see it coming out, whether it has air bubbles in it or not. Alright, you guys, after messing around with the spark plug wires, it turns out they actually do sit flush. I just didn't put them on all the way last time. My bad, my fault. So only reason why, because I got curious, I lined it up with the old ones right here, and they were the exact same length. So it was my fault. So these are the right ones, right length. It was just my bad, wrong installation. All right, you guys, after driving around and getting all the monitors cleared, check engine light popped up with the code. I forgot what code it was, but I'll pop it up on the screen, and it's pretty much saying that the threshold for the catalytic converter is bad, and that's the catalytic converter. So my O2 sensors are just reading the difference of it, and a lot of the main fixes for it is just replacing the whole catalytic converter. Basically, it was a bad catalytic converter, so I'm kind of trying to get started on it. Kind of got the bolts off. Those are 12 millimeters right here. There's actually 4, but one didn't come on the car right there, so I only removed 3. And we moved to a new spot, so this is the garage, so not much difference. It's a little bit bigger, yes, but room-wise to work on the car, in between a fridge being right there, it's still almost the same. Not a lot of room. So the only thing I forgot from the old place is the O2 sensor socket. So I gotta get that, and so I could take off this O2 sensor, take off this heat shield, and then start unbolting all of this. So right here is where I have the new one. All right, so that's how it looks. It's still kind of all up in this box and stuff. So it did come with new gaskets and stuff too, which is nice right here. And then did come with bolts and nuts and stuff. So this one actually has 2 of them. Where's the other one? There's one here, and then there's another one for the flange. It's somewhere in this box. So anyhow, brand new gaskets for those. And yeah, so just got to go grab the O2 sensor socket and then start tearing this apart and replacing everything. So it does look like it's going to run an interference right here. We're trying to take it out. I'm going to try my best, because I don't know if you guys can see, but there's actually a little, you see that header bolt right there? And this bracket right here is kind of in the way. And of course, it's to the power steering pump. So all right, you guys, it's a brand new day. I went home and got the O2 socket. So we're going to go ahead and take off that O2 and then take off the heat shield and get this party rolling. And here, I'm gonna go from the bottom, start taking off the bolts from the bottom. So it's 1, 2 right there, and then there's also this bracket over here that's holding it in. So just gotta loosen those, and then I should be able to just drop this exhaust pipe and down and just let it kind of hang. So here we go. Of course, first things first, I soaked in sprayed those bolts with penetrating fluid. So I let that sit for probably 5 to 10 minutes, somewhere around there, and then I came back with the breaker bar. And once I was able to break them loose, then I came back with the impact and just started loosening all of them. So if you do have power tools, it definitely makes things a lot easier. And if you have penetrating fluid, it makes getting these bolts, especially the exhaust bolts, off a lot easier. So a breaker bar helps too. There's that too. Alright, no matter how much I look at it, it seems like I do have to take off this power steering bracket right there because I can't even get to the nut right there. Can't even fit a socket in there. I try to fit a wrench in there, but even if you're somehow able to wiggle the wrench in between this little gap right here, you still won't be able to turn it to loosen it. So I try to avoid it, but it seems like I can't. So looks like we're gonna have to loosen the belt, take off the belt, and then kind of take off this power steering bracket and then just kind of scoot it to the side. All right, let me give you guys a quick rundown real quick. So you gotta take off this one right here, right? That's a 12, and then that one right there, which is a 14. But first, you have to get to this one right here. Let's see a focus. That one right there, which is to loosen the tension of the belt. It's a 14 millimeter, so you just take your ratchet in there and then just ratchet it to loosen it so you could get this belt off. Do that first, and then once you get the belt off, you could come back and loosen that. And then you probably have to take off these electrical, just take the tabs off, and yeah, you should be able to move it off to the side and get enough room in there to get that bolt loose. And here, I definitely apologize for the angle. No matter how I place this camera, you guys would not be able to see what I was doing down there. So I figured from this position, at least you guys have an idea of the bolts I'm trying to get to. And then I'll flip it around for the other side. All right, so I thought that was it, but there's actually this bracket right here going across. You guys see it? That is holding in the power steering pump. So you gotta loosen those two bolts, that one right there and this one right here. It doesn't look like I'll be able to do it from on top up here. Maybe I could get to that one from on top here, but it looks like it'll probably be easier if you actually just reach from underneath the car. So it's looking like I'm gonna probably have to take this wheel off and then take off this covering over here. All right, we're already this far. Let's get it done. Let me update you guys what I got going on right now. So right now I got the bracket off. So it's this bolt right here. Let me try to push it in so you guys can see. So it's this piece right here. As you can see, it's kind of dangling right here. And that bolt is still stuck in. It's just too long that you can't take it out, so I just left it hanging. The bolt for the other end is actually the short one right here, so actually goes right there. And then before, I didn't loosen the tension pulley enough, which is, where'd that bolt go? Oh, it's right here. This black one right here. So I didn't loosen it enough. There's actually this bolt right here. So you have to loosen it enough to where the tension pulley actually keeps moving this way, to expose that bolt right there so you could get to it too. And once you get it all the way right there, you see it's pretty easy to take off the belt. So it was just my bad. I didn't loosen it enough. So, all right. I think that might be the final bolt. This thing is still pretty stuck in there. So I believe that is the final bolt right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen that one. And this thing really sucked. I tried to get different tools in there, like a ratcheting wrench and all that stuff, but none of them will fit because it was such a tight spot. So the only thing I could do was fit a regular wrench in there, a box wrench in there, and do it by hand. All right, here's the update. So as you guys can see, I was able to loosen it some, but it took forever because you couldn't fit a socket and a ratchet in there. And none of the ratcheting wrenches I had could fit in there too. So had to do this by hand with just a regular wrench because it was skinny enough to fit in there. But I didn't get it loosened all the way, just because it does hold on to the tension pulley. So I just kind of kept it there. It's backed out, but not backed out all the way. And as you guys can see, you could move it, and that should be enough clearance for us to fit a socket with an extension on it. The tunes on the end are 14s, and then the rest of these in the middle are 12s. So we're almost there, you guys. Doesn't have it. And then of course we placed this gasket too. It's kind of weird because some of them have these little washers on them and then some of them didn't. So I don't know if somebody already attempted to move this before and just didn't put those washers back. But yeah, they were missing some. So anyhow, I'm just going to go ahead and reverse install everything. This time it's just going to be a quick time lapse throughout everything. I'm not going to stop the video anymore because you guys kind of see how I did it. So now you guys could watch me put it all back together now. Alright, so here I'm switching all the old parts over to the new part, and a lot of them, especially like the shield part, it wouldn't fit around snugly 100%. Some of the holes were off and some of the mounting holes were off, so I had to do a little modifying, a little banging here and there, and I was able to get it fit, but it still wasn't 100% fit, but it was good enough. Alright, so I just want to show you guys while I was struggling there for a minute. So the box came with this, but check this out. Yeah, it's not supposed to come like that with just a solid piece. It's supposed to be just a little solid piece right here in the middle, and then the rest is supposed to be threaded. But this is what they sent me, so I had to take off the one from the old one, which took a while because that one was welded on. So I was able to break that loose, and then I was able to thread it in and use it on the other one. So, all right, here we go. And here you guys get to watch me just pretty much clean this, getting it prepped to get everything put back on, making sure my gasket was facing in the right direction, and yeah, pretty much just trying to get everything back and tidied up. The gasket on this one was actually a little, the holes that were made were a little loose, so, or they didn't line up properly. So the holes were actually a little big, the one that goes around the bolts. They were a little big, so I had to hold up the catalytic converter and the gasket with my finger to level it out, and then I started tying it down. So that's how I was able to get it to sit nice and snug, and the gasket was still on point. All right, everything is basically back together. For some reason, I couldn't get these two bolts right here to line up with the new catalytic converter slash hitters. So I'm only gonna just use these two top ones. And plug this back in, put the passenger side front wheel back on, and then lower the car onto the ground, and I think we should be done here. All right, everything's buttoned up, finished up, so I'm gonna turn it on, see how it sounds. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, leave any parts or anything, or tools like this. Let's see. All right, smoking a little. That's just from the new gasket. So once that burns up a little bit, it should create a tighter seal. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move this cart outside and let it air out, and then I gotta clean it underneath. There's a whole bunch of crap under there. All right, yo, I just wanted to show you guys. After installing the new cat, I didn't even, well, I drove it around the block and that was it. I didn't even get up to 60 or anything like the test says. And look, all my monitors are complete now. I don't have no incomplete monitors. Everything is good. So the car is ready to go smog, you guys. Heck yeah. All right, you guys, we are here at Smog Champs. This is my go-to guy right here. So if you guys are in the lower Sacramento area, Power Inn specifically, come check my dude out, man. All right, you guys, it's my turn. I'm up on here. It's just checking the computers right now on it. That's my guy right there. Busy, man. Never stop working. Yo, all the hard work paid off. We passed. Now the car is one step closer to getting street legal, you guys. Bam, there we go. All right, y'all, we are leaving the DMV and we are legal. All right, what up, you guys? So I just got out of work, came straight to the DMV, was able to process everything, you know, like $1,000 later in fees and whatnot. We finally got the sticker. Hey, so we're legal now. Just gotta throw it on, get some insurance for the car, and we good. All right, y'all, just like that, this concludes part 5. This also concludes this build series of getting the car street legal. And on top of that, I do have more stuff coming for the car. So the car is not done yet, but just this series is done. There's going to be window tinting. There's going to be the suspension to tackle. There's things I want to do to it, like debadging the trunk and all that stuff. So come back for more videos on that. Yeah, and until then, you guys, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and take care.